Okay, so in this session we are going to upgrade Kubernetes cluster. So basically this is multi-node Kubernetes cluster. In my environment I am using one master node and one worker node. Okay. Basically in the production environment at least 3 master node and as many as worker node we need, but this is the lab environment, so I am using one master node and one worker node. The procedure, but the procedure remains same. Okay, so first thing is that my current Kubernetes version is 1.32.5 and I am going to upgrade to 1.33. So this is in multi-node Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so first thing, here we are using two type of worker node. One is master node, one another is the worker node. Okay, so in the upgrade process we need to first upgrade the master node. Okay, so for the master node upgrade we should follow this document. First thing is that we need to update the OS packages. Okay, since I'm using Ubuntu 25, so accordingly you can select this package Ubuntu or CentOS. Okay, so first thing we need to update these packages. Let me jump to this lab environment. So my lab environment I am using one master, one worker. The master IP is .26 and the worker IP is 31. Okay, the cluster is look like this one, and the cluster is configured with master 2 CPU and worker 1 CPU. Then from the release page we covered this one, and in production environment we should take care this part, deprecated API migration. Okay, so like I mentioned in my previous video also, we need to take care this thing before start the upgrade process in production environment. Okay, if you are using this kind of API, then in our code base we need to change it to v1 beta 3 to that v1 stable 1. Okay, so this is the prerequisite steps we need to cover, but since I'm using lab environment this step is not required. Let me go ahead to start the master node upgrade process. So during the master node upgrade process, first thing that we need to upgrade the kubeadm packages. Then we need to drain this node, but here I am using one master node, so no need to drain that node. Okay, if you're using multiple master node, then we can drain that node. Okay, basically in the drain process all the pods are evicted from that node to rest of the master node. Okay, so I am using one master node. Then we start the upgrade process, apply the upgrade. Then we need to update other packages like kubelet and kubectl. Okay, then we can uncurtain. Okay, but this uncurtain is also not required since we did not drain this node. Okay, so let me go ahead to log in to my master node and update this OS packages, Ubuntu packages. Okay, so since I'm going to upgrade to 133, so I need to pass this one in this GPG key and the Kubernetes this list file, repo list. Okay, let me log into my system. Here is my lab environment, virtualbox, master node is running and worker node is running. Let me log into my system. You can see I'll already log into my system using putty, and you can see my master cluster configuration is like one master, one worker, and version is 1.32.5. okay, and I already running one demo application. Okay, so they are running on both, having two replica, that's why they are running on each of the node. Okay, so my master node also act as a worker node. Okay, also the worker node, the one replica is running on another worker node. Let me update this OS packages. So this is the command apt update. Once the OS packages are updated, then we need to update this GPG key 1.33. Now it started downloading these packages. Then we can go ahead to or this GPG. Yeah, it asks me to overwrite because earlier I used 1.32, so that's why it asks me to overwrite. Yes, then we can point to Debian repo, that is 1.33. Now we can see this file is updated, this repo file, it is showing 1.33. okay, so then we need to first component we need to upgrade, that is the kubeadm. It started downloading this packages 1.33 and the latest patch is 0. I think .1 is available, but in the Debian, Ubuntu repo, it's not available right now. That's why I selected the lower one, 133.0. Okay. So once the package installation is completed, then we can verify whether the kubeadm is reflected. That is 1.33. You can see it is reflected 1.33. Okay. So so this drain is not required because we are using one control plane node. Okay, so if you are using multiple control plane node, then you need to drain each of the master node, the control plane node. Okay, then we can verify our upgrade plan. It's not actually applying the upgrade, but it is just showing you the upgrade path. Okay, kubeadm upgrade plan, it will show you like from this version you can upgrade to this version. So sometimes we are getting this type of error. Now you can see this Kubernetes target version is 1.33.0. okay, it will basically generate the one plan, that is the upgrade path. Okay, yeah, now you can see your current version is this one and the target is this one. Okay, so what are the deprecated API they also mentioned here. Okay, then we can apply this upgrade on the control plane node 133.0. then it will start the upgrade on the control plane node. It will ask yes. Yeah, it in this phase basically it will pull lot of Docker images, these components like etcd, API server, those kind of things. Okay, once the upgrade is completed, this type also not required since this is a single node master node. Then we need to go ahead to update these packages. Okay, remaining package, that is kubelet and kubecontrol. Okay, once the master node is completed, then we can go ahead to upgrade the worker node. The upgrade procedure almost same, only few commands we need to change. Just 1 second. Yeah, only this command is changed. Okay, in the worker node, like there they mentioned, like in master node they are mentioned like upgrade apply, but in this case we need to upgrade using kubeadm upgrade node. Okay, so before that make sure we need to drain that node. Okay, because all the application which are running on the worker node should be drained, evicted from that node. Okay, otherwise you face the downtime. Okay, but in generally in Kubernetes worker node upgrade, so basically it automatically switched from your worker node to rest of the cluster. Okay, This is the one important thing. And basically when you drain this one, it will curtain that node. Okay, so curtain means it will add one flag like to the node, like the scheduling is disabled. Okay, so that the scheduler will not schedule any of the new pod on that node. Okay, as we are drain curtain that node in the one in the last phase, when the upgrade is completed on the worker node, we should uncurtain this one. Okay, this is the important step. Okay, if you are not uncurtain that node, then even though the upgrade is completed on that worker node, the scheduler will not schedule any new pod on that node. Okay, because this marked as scheduling disabled. It will pull some packages, take time. So this is basically, it is same like single node Kubernetes cluster update, but there is few steps changed for the worker node only. Okay, the procedure remains same, which I have covered in earlier videos, but this one only, this step is changed, like Kubernetes update node. You notice like when we perform the upgrade of worker node, so that time the pod, the application pod which is running on that worker node should be migrated to the rest of the cluster. Okay, like you can see one replica of your application is running in worker node. Okay, that should be running that time at rest of the cluster, that means master one. Okay, I'll show you that one. Not sure why it's taking this much time. Now you can see some progress. I think the etcd service. Yeah, etcd component is, I think, restarted or upgraded. Yeah, one more thing I have forget in the last video. So when you are joining one worker node, so that time you need to use this command on the master node. Okay, that ufw disable, because we need to disable this firewall, otherwise it will not connect. When you are joining the worker node to, it will internally interact with the master node. So certain ports we need to open. Okay, so instead of doing this thing in the lab environment, we directly disable this firewall port on the master node, so that it will allow the worker node to join the cluster. Okay, this is the one step we missed in earlier. Yeah, so we can see some progress like etcd successfully upgraded. So like that, other component like API server scheduler, all these components should be upgraded. The API server also started upgrade. Yeah, I, then we should execute this step to update this kubelet and kubectl commands. Yeah, now the update is completed. Then we can go ahead to update this package kubelet and kubectl. As we are updating the kubelet package, so we need to start the daemon. Hopefully after this upgrade the master nodes should be reflected like 1.33. Facing some connection issue, that's why it's taking this much time, otherwise it should fast. We got some error or something. Repeat update. Yeah, so all packages are updated. Let me restart the kubelet. Restarted. So hopefully this get node should be reflected the master node. You can see the master node, I mean the control plane node now updated to 1.33, but still the worker node is using 1. Previous version, that is 1.32 version. Okay, so in this case we need to log into the worker node. We need to log into the worker node here. I already log into my worker node. You can see the prompt is like worker 0. Let me update this package also here. I tried very fast. So during this package update, let me add this GPG. I don't know why this internet connection is a little bit slow today. I think some connection issues are ongoing. Then we need to add this in Kubernetes repo. Then update this Kubernetes also first. Then once the Kubernetes package is updated, then we need to drain this node. In my case, the worker node is worker 01. We need to drain this node. But this should be executed from the master node, okay? Yeah, so the Kubernetes package is updated in the worker node. Let me jump to master node and we should drain this worker node, okay? Kubernetes drain your worker node name, then ignore the daemon set, okay? So now you can see it is evicting the pod. This demo out pod is evicted, okay? It should be running in the rest of the node like master node, okay? Okay, get pod hyphen n demo of hyphen o void. Now you can see already this replica is running and the next replica now the container is creating, okay? Because this node now scheduling disabled, okay? Now you can see one flag is added like worker node scheduling disabled because we current this node. I mean, you can see it is showing current that node even though we executed drain. Then we can go ahead to update this node. Basically it will update the kubelet, okay? So we need to perform this command in worker node only. I mentioned that, so I jump to worker node and update that one, and you can see it is successfully updated this kubelet. configuration. Then we can go ahead to update the rest of the package like kubelet and kubectl and same worker node. Since we are update the kubelet, so we need to restart that package, service. This kubectl and kubelet packages are updated to 133 in worker node. Hopefully after this this one is reflected in the get node command. The worker node should be now we have restarted the kubelet in the worker node, and this command should be executed on the master node. We need to uncurtain, because earlier we have curtained this node, drain that node, so during drain it will automatically add this curtain. Okay, so this scheduling disabled flag should be removed right now. Before that, let me check my demo app is running on master node. Yes, both the replica is running on the master node, because this node is like scheduling disabled flag is added. Okay, so we need to uncurtain this node, worker node, that should be executed in the master. Okay, I think that name is, yeah, you can say it is uncurtain. We can double check from the get node. Now the flag is removed from the worker node. Now you can see both the node are upgraded to 1.33.0. okay, so if you want to distribute this rebalance your this application, that should be executed on one replica should be executed on the worker node, then we need to restart this deployment. Okay, let me restart that deployment also, so that the scheduler will schedule the replica on other node also. Yeah, so now we expect now you can see one of the replica started migrating to your worker node. Okay, so soon it will come to running state very soon. Yeah, so that's it guys for the today's session. So basically this session focused on how to upgrade the Kubernetes on the multi-cluster nodes. Like in our environment we have covered like one master node, one worker node, and we have successfully updated the Kubernetes version from 1.32.5 to 1.33.0. okay, so if you want to upgrade again, I think the release page is showing like 1.33.1 is available. Okay, so in that case you can also perform the patch update. Okay, the procedure remains same, only during this package installation, so that time you need to select here 1.33.1. otherwise this two step remains same, because it is patch version of 1.33. okay, so we have covered all these things. So let me check whether we have successfully running this demo up. Yeah, now you can see all the replicas running on and distributed to all among the node. Okay, like worker node and master node. Okay, that's it about this today's video. Thank you guys. We'll see you next video.